handling of the clipper. Since this tool has sound and sensation to it, I like to introduce it to doggies in 3 steps: sniff, sound, and sensation, so they can get used to it. Even for doggies who already know the routine and have been groomed by me before, I still like to introduce it, though it happens much faster than to newbies, but I still like to take those 3 steps so they're gonna know what's coming up. If they were humans, I would just say, I'm gonna use the clipper, you know what that is, right? And then go on with it. But since I can't say to them like that, I introduce them with those 3 steps. So when it comes to using a clipper, let's say my hand is a doggie's face, I let them sniff it while it's off. I see they are comfortable with it. Great, we can move on to the sound. I move the clipper out of the way, arm length away. I get the doggie's attention. Once I got the attention and they are focused on me, I'm gonna make some noise, or whatever you want to use, you can. Whatever word you want to use to let the doggie know, alert the doggie that, hey, something is coming up. And then I switch it on. And once the doggie is okay with the sound again from a distance, then I can move the sound and introduce the sensation to the doggie. Now, in case the doggie is okay with me moving the clipper closer, I won't even switch it off. In case the doggie needs some time and space, then I will switch it off, pet the doggie, calm him or her down, and then go back to the sound and move again towards the sensation. Once the doggie is comfortable with that sound closer, you can add the sensation literally like using it on the doggie. In case the doggie is a little bit unsure, I like to just do the sensation without the clipper part around. So I'm gonna touch the doggie with the clipper a little bit on a less sensitive area, so like sides and maybe butt area, in case they're okay with that. But the sides will probably work best. Somewhere midway between the 2 polars of the most sensitive spots, like the head and the tail. And that's gonna enable you and the doggie to be comfortable with it, and you can move forward. As for using the clipper, there is a large button on the front where you can switch it on to setting 1 and on to setting 2. 1 is the slower, 2 is the faster. 95% of the cases I use it on 1. Sometimes when the coat is really thick and I'm doing a pre-haircut, so the hair is a little bit dirtier, not yucky dirty, but it's oily, and so the clipper is having a little bit harder time working on it, then I switch up to the second gear, and that's gonna just fly through the coat. When it comes to changing the blade, the way you can go about it is there's a little button on the bottom of the clipper on the back side. You need to press that, and at the same time you need to move the blade upwards. So my left thumb is on the bottom back there. My index finger is on the front, and my thumb is on the back here to make sure that the clipper won't just fly off, because they are pretty sensitive to falls. So I want to prevent any falls. So I press the button back here, and after it's pressed, then I move the clipper upward. And that way, let me show you it again. And this is an excellent example when it won't go back to normal properly. That's why I love to suggest that whenever you are changing blades or adjusting one or cleaning one and you snap it off and put it on, you need to make sure that you are double checking the fit. In case it did not snap back on perfectly, then you can hold your fingers back there. Oh crap, it snapped back on. So if you give it a little push, then you can make it happen too. Let me just try to do it again, and hopefully it's not gonna snap on. Oh good. So it did not snap on, and I'm not gonna put too much pressure on, but sometimes even with a lot of pressure it won't snap on. So the thing you can do is you can switch the clipper on, meanwhile you're fingering one finger there, and it will just snap back on there perfectly. Like quick on and off, and then it's gonna be right there super close to the top. Perfect fit. It's not caused because the clipper is faulty or anything, but whenever we remove the clipper blade, the thingy with which it attaches moves a little bit. So whenever it's not aligned, we need to make sure that it will snap back on. So how do we change the blade? We remove the blade. This is how it looks without the clipper blade. And I put the blade on, I slide it on the little tongue back in there, and it's gonna stay in place. And after I want to put it back on, I just snap it back there and perfect. So before we use it on the doggy, we make sure that the blade snapped on perfectly well and it's not going to give you that weird sound. Because in case it's not snapped there perfectly and you try to use it on the doggy, first, it's not going to cut hair at all. It can fall off crazy easily because it's not going to, nothing will hold it or not much will hold it. And when you turn it upside down, gravity will work and it's just going to slide off. Plus, when you switch the thingy on, the clipper blade will make a funny noise. It's kind of loud and weird. So doggies tend to jump and surprise and maybe get afraid. So we really want to avoid that because that will set the mood into a different direction we want to go. So once you make sure that the clipper blade is on perfectly, it's not going to make a weird sound, you can ask for your doggy's attention and then use it. And that's going to build up trust and understanding what's going to happen. So your doggy will be way more cooperative. Since I'm right-handed, this is how I hold the clipper whenever I'm working on a doggy. I like to use as much tip of the fingers as possible. You will see how tired your hand gets. So you will decide yourself. You can hold it like this, like with a full grip with your palm. But I like to use it something like this way, so I can feel it easier which little bumps and lumps I'm working on the doggy. Because whenever we are using the clippers, before we would use the clipper, we of course would do a thorough checkup on our doodles, so we would know where are any growth, bumps, lumps, whatever, so we can avoid cutting them. But you're still gonna need to feel and understand where the bones are and where the legs, for example, have a little bit less muscle, so the vibration will be more intense on their bones, so doggies will be like, what's going on there? Most likely at first. So we need to be super gentle. Whenever we hold a clipper like this and move it this way, we're gonna have less sensation. We're gonna be a little bit less precise and less gentle whenever using the clipper with this grip on a sensitive area. So with this holding technique, though it's a little bit more tiring for your hands, I still like it. You're gonna groom 1, 2, or 3 doggies at home, so it's not gonna be like you're spending your whole day holding it this way and then massaging your whole hand as the evening activity because it hurts so much. So since you're gonna use it less than groomers, I highly recommend you do this holding technique, so it's gonna be way easier for you to understand, and even when your eyes are closed, you're gonna know that, oh, something is going on there. Of course, we will groom with open eyes, but it's just easier for you to imagine what I'm talking about, and it will serve you very well because your doggy will appreciate you going really gentle around the sensitive areas, and they will be more likely to cooperate. What I use the clipper for, I use it to set the length to make it easier and faster with shear trimming. So usually on the body, legs, butt area, sanitary trim, the clipper will do a fast and easy work and makes it more even. Some groomers use it on the head as well. I only use it on the head in case the doggy is getting a super short trim, so it's gonna be even with the rest of the body. Whenever it comes to keeping the head a little bit longer, I like to use thinning shears only, and I don't use the clippers in those situations because with thinning shears you're gonna be able to do a way more even, cuter trim, and there's not gonna be lines anywhere. Plus, your doggy will appreciate you not using a vibrating loud thing around their super sensitive features,